Hey, Bobby's with us live here, and he wants to ask you a question about Australia, Tony. He says, how far in advance does the production staff arrive for international shows like this one?
Wow.
That's something you and I have never talked about, but normally they try to load in the day before, but when you've got to grow literally across the world, man, that's got to be a whole new group of challenges, right? How does that work on a show like this, Tony?
You know what? You have to use production equipment that's already in the country.
Right.
You don't send your production equipment over there. This is something that is, I guess, rented or leased by us. So it's already there. We just bring people over is what we do. And it when do they arrive? It depends on when we can get into the building. We have two types of load ins. It's load in the day before, which is optimal to get everything set. But there's also called a day of load in, which means a lot of times they'll have to get there like first thing in the morning. I mean, we're talking about even like, for instance, if there's a show before, let's say there's a hockey game before we have to load into this arena, we have to wait till hockey is cleared out the night before and everything is set up for us to load in. And sometimes by the times we get there on a Wednesday, let's say for a Dynamite, they are still setting things up. It's called the day of load in, which is very stressful. So I don't know for international show. I don't know if we've got a day of load in or if we have a day before load in. That just determines on what the building has available for us to do. So there's no really set rule about when we load in for international. I do know that Wembley, we obviously were load in probably a couple days before, or maybe the day before. I think, if I'm right, I think Taylor Swift was in there before us last time. Matter of fact, I know she was, and so we had to scramble a little bit, but that's the way it is.
Well, you can put your load in anytime you want, thanks to our friends at Blue Chew. Not really.
Wow, was that a?
I mean, they're not a sponsor this week, so we're not doing it. But it was right
Okay.
here. I had to do it.
Wow, how about that? How about that?
What'd you think of the television title? We're hearing from Bad Money Slim that he thought Mr. Wonderful had the best television title. It's the same one that we saw Lord Steven Regal with earlier. I guess there were two versions of that belt, a nickel belt and a gold belt. Did you have a favorite version of the TV title? I kind of like the old classic Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, like the red one. That's the one.
The red one. That's the one I remember all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I guess was the nickel on the red, right? Or the
Yes.
silver? Yes. To me, that's the World Television Belt.
Which I've actually heard has been located.
Really?
I've yet to see it.
Okay.
But I had a guy, this is a real sentence, a private investigator called me last year and said, "Hey, I found it."
What?
I know, it was really random. And he says he's going to produce it this year, but he says he knows where it is. And he told me where it is. And I thought, well, that doesn't sound right, but we'll see.
So this private investigator is also a belt nerd, apparently.
Believe it or not, he actually does some work with Dark Side of the Ring. And he called and was trying to run something past me. And I was like, nah, that sounds like bullshit. I don't know about that. Then he called another time and said, "Hey, I think I found the belt." And I'm like, wait, what? So we'll see.
Jesus.
But I'm like, you're hunting belts now? Okay, cool.
God.
Go find the WrestleMania 5 world title. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So are they still in production to do those things? Dark Side of the Rings?
Oh yeah, there's a new one coming out next month. A whole new season.
Who's in the season?
Ask Wikipedia there. I'm going to cough.
Okay.
Wikipedia, jump on the show and tell him about it.
Hey guys, here in the Wikipedia studios. This month, Dark Side of the Ring. Let me just pull it up here. Just typing it up 1 second.
Okay. Great sound effects, Dave.
The story of hold on. Jane Fonda's night in WCW. That's gonna
he's fucking around. Okay, thanks a lot.
It's I like it. Go ahead, keep going.
Wait, it's coming in. I got another one coming.
It's Hell in a Cell, Vader, Tony Atlas, Ludwig Borga, Billy Jack Haynes,
Oh,
Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert, Superstar Billy Graham,
yikes.
Daphne, the original Sheik, Muhammad Hassan. So there you go.
Wow, I'm bored.
You're bored of what? You don't want to hear
them.
about Tony Atlas?
Mm.
You don't want to hear about Big Van Vader?
No.
You don't want to hear about Daphne?
Yeah, in God's green earth.
You don't want to hear about the original Sheik?
No.
You don't want to hear about Superstar Billy Graham?
I want all those guys who put that show together to go fuck themselves. How does that sound?
All right, there you go. Well,
Okay.
you can just say that next time, you know?
Yeah.
The Billy Jack Haynes story is going to be crazy. I've heard one of the timelines for that from the private investigator, and I was like, or one of the angles, and I'm like, wait, what? That sounds a little crazy, but I don't want to give a spoiler here on the show. But I will say folks are going to be talking about it.
What is a private investigator doing in this show? What is they got to sneak around and they got to sneak. The producers got a private investigator sneaking around for storylines. They're a bunch of fucking sneaks.
Well, some people would call it investigative reporting, Tony.
No, it's a sneak.
What does a sneak mean? They're not
It's
trying to
private,
catch
okay. Investigative reporting is a reporter. A private investigator is a guy who sneaks around. They're sneaks.
He's not trying to find somebody sucking cock in a parking lot. That's usually what private investigators are done for. Is my husband getting BJ's at Costco? Is he more of a Sam's Club guy or a Costco guy when he's outsourcing his BJ's outside the home? I think he's buying them at bulk down at Sam's Club. I mean, that's what private investigators are normally for. Montoya, por favor.
Oh,
you can suck some cock in El Sam's Club-o? You're going to play with La Ding Dong in La Costco?
What has TV become, for crying out loud?
Well, listen, we got to get to the bottom of, who did Vader try to send that picture of his dick to? Remember when he sent a picture out of that little motherfucker with a helmet on it? Let's see if we can get Dave Silva to go find a picture of Vader's dick and Photoshop the Mastodon helmet on it. Okay. And see if we can share it here on YouTube in a way where we won't get kicked off.
Wait a minute. Hang on a second. That's actually a story. He sent his penis picture.
He posted it on Twitter.
Vader did.
Vader posted his hog meat on Twitter.
No.
Why would I make that up? Doesn't that feel like a random thing for me to make up?
No, but you know what? You make up shit all the time.
Just tell me you want to see Vader's dick. Just say that. Look right in the camera and say, I want to see the little Mastodon.
I don't.
It's time. It's time. It's Vader dick time. He held the balls back like this. He took his fat pad and he pushed it around the base to make it look a little bigger. Yeah. You know what kind of party it is. It's a dick selfie party. He feels no pain, my little Mastodon. I take my little man to the White Castle of Fear. I get a sack full of them little motherfuckers.